Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Martha Ayala, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. As a reminder for everyone, I do all of the videos in English and Spanish, and also the degree theory is based on the modern Western astrology with the Placidus house system. Now, in today's video, I am going to discuss the August 19th full moon. But in addition to that, instead of making separate videos for everything that's happening, because there's a lot of stuff happening, I'm going to talk about the Jupiter-Mars conjunction in Gemini, the Saturn in Pisces opposing Venus in Virgo, the full moon in Aquarius on August 19th at 27 degrees, and the trine from Uranus to Venus and Pluto. So there's a lot of information for each of the signs. Most likely this video will be a lot longer than the usual videos that I make. So there are some positive energy, but it's more negative energy or challenging energy. Let's put it that way. Now, the full moon in Aquarius happens on August 19th at the degree of Gemini, 27 degrees. Now, what does this mean? This means that the sun is in Leo, the moon is in Aquarius. Aquarius has everything to do with independence, teamwork, community, social organizations, political politics, right? Uh, it's more about a group of people. Now, Leo wants to be the center of attention, a little bit of a drama queen. And it's me, the individual. I want to shine above everybody else. Now, we have a square to Uranus from this full moon, right? Or I should say Uranus is squaring the full moon. So there could be sudden events, rebellions, protests, things you didn't expect. Uranus rules bombs, explosions, electricity, airplanes, airports, fast trains, and it rules the future. Also, Leo rules France. So I'm kind of curious to see if anything is going to happen in France with all this energy. Hopefully not, but just I thought about that. Mercury is retrograde, so we're going back to review, redo, resubmit. So we have this full moon in Aquarius, which is looking at the future, but Mercury is like, wait, you got to go back and redo something. Now, 27 degrees is the degree of Gemini. So there could be a lot of demonstrations in Gemini places, the streets, train stations, your subways, your metro rail, like transportation hubs. So that's where we could see a lot of these demonstrations taking place. Now, emotions, because it's a full moon, and all full moons are very, are emotional to begin with, but this one can be flying high because it's squaring the conjunction of Jupiter to magnify Mars arguments or heated discussions. Let's put it that way. So my recommendation to you is careful with emails that you write. Careful with what you say. Be very diplomatic, very politically correct. You don't have to talk or write or whatever, better just not say anything, or watch your words very carefully. Now, the United States moon on a mundane level is at 27 degrees of Aquarius. So this is right on the US moon. The moon rules the population of the country. So those of us who live in the United States will be affected. What can this mean? There could be internet issues. There could be issues with computer or maybe like some kind of hacking event. Make sure that you back up your files. There could be issues with cell towers. cell phones going a little crazy, electricity. God knows that we're having this god-awful heat wave, right? Jupiter magnifies Mars, heat. Um, Mercury is retrograde and Saturn is opposing Venus. So most of you will be reviewing your finances or your business transactions. For people, especially working with money, with numbers, review everything carefully. If you're going to submit a budget, if you're going to submit a worksheet with calculations, make sure that your formulas are correct. Double and triple check. Now, the Middle East, we have Israel. The Jewish people are ruled by Taurus, and Uranus is in Taurus. So you don't need an astrologer to tell you that there might be escalations in attacks, in bombs and explosions, in, not so great stuff happening over there in Israel or in the Middle East. Let's just with Iran and all that stuff that's happening. Now the other concerning issue is we have Jupiter conjunct Mars in Gemini, which rules communication. So a lot of people are going to be speaking a lot. Jupiter. And not necessarily in a nice way because Mars can be blunt, can be to the point, can be aggressive. There could be arguments, there could be heated discussions. So again, be mindful about what you say, who you say it about, just watch your words. Saturn is squaring this conjunction. So Saturn is always no or slow down, not yet, wait. So let's talk about the individual signs. Now, I did this by sign because you guys happened to like this when I did it last time. So I went and I did it again for each of the rising signs so that you can have a better idea of what the natal chart looks like for this August 19th full moon in Aquarius for Aries rising. Now, because everybody has different degrees of rising. So like if you're an N degree, this conjunction might fall into another house. So you can listen to the next sign, right? To Taurus. If this conjunction falls in, or whatever, in another sign, and I will be talking about the full moon in axes, not necessarily what house, because again, depending on your degrees, it might be different. So anyway, for Aries rising, this is the chart of the full moon for you. So especially you, Jupiter and Mars falls in the third house. So the third house is siblings, aunts, uncles, extended family, your cousins, neighbors, your neighborhood, things that you can discuss. So be careful what you say to this group of people. It may turn out to be a heated discussion. Or also there could be opportunities for communications, but be mindful of what you say. Saturn in the 12th house, in opposition to Venus in the 6th house, especially at work. Unfortunately, maybe one of your coworkers is doing something behind the scenes, right? Behind closed doors, behind your back. So, comments like, oh, did you see the email that she sent? Or did you hear what he said about so and so? So again, careful with anything you write, any email that you send. Saturn says, wait, think before you speak, slow down, or maybe don't say anything, keep your mouth shut, okay? Now, Uranus here in your second house is trining Pluto in the 10th, and it's trining Venus in the sixth. Maybe, God willing, either you get an increase in pay, right? Pluto in the 10th, changes in the money that you make, or maybe also changes in what you eat can affect your health in a good way, or changes in money because of work, good work that you've done. Let's hope that it's a very positive aspect, so it will turn out well, whether it's the dieting or changes in eating habits, let's say it that way, or money that you get from your job, or maybe a second job. You never know. Full moon, this one, is happening in the 11th and 5th house. Now, it is, see, this full moon is squaring Uranus. You have it here. The T-square is Uranus. So in the second house, so something unexpected could happen to a friend or boyfriend, girlfriend. Also, one of these people may ask you for money. Since it is an opposition and a square, I recommend that you do not lend this person money. Of course, you decide what you want to do. Now, Taurus. With Taurus, this Jupiter-Mars conjunction is happening in your second house. So, do you want to make more money? Did you receive a huge bill because it's Jupiter? Do you want to make a big purchase? Which I would recommend waiting until Mercury goes direct, because if we buy something expensive, after Mercury goes direct, we usually regret it. And that is a given. So, are you going to make a big investment, right? So Saturn, the square to Saturn and the square to Venus, either a friend of yours or boyfriend, girlfriend, or even your kids might say, hey, listen, think twice. You're going to be spending so much money. Is it really worth it? Do you have to do it right now? These are the people that are going to say, Oi, double check on what you want to do. Now, this can also bring an argument with a friend or with a boyfriend, girlfriend, or your kids too, for that matter. Now, Uranus will be trining Pluto in the 10th, and Venus in the 5th. So Venus in the 5th could be a surprise meeting. It could talk about romance. It may not last a long time because it's Uranus, things that happen suddenly. Or maybe you can turn and monetize a hobby. Maybe you can make some money because Venus is in the 5th house. Also, your kids may ask you, or an expense for them, something like that. Full moon. Full moon is happening in the 11th and 5th house axis, and Uranus is in the first. So there can be changes that you made to yourself because it's first house. I don't know, maybe you change the color of your hair or makeup or something like that either your friends or your romantic interest is not too happy about. And they'll let you know. So, Gemini. For Gemini, this this Jupiter-Mars conjunction happens in your first house. Now, for Gemini, you are always wanting to do a lot regardless, right? But because you have a lot of passion now, Mars is in your first house to do a lot of things. Jupiter's bringing a lot of opportunities to you, but the restriction is work and family. Because your boss might be saying, your boss, your father, someone who is in power, who has control, is saying, wait, no, not now. you have duties that, at work that you need to do, and all these things that you want to do have to wait. Or you could have responsibilities at home, maybe with a love interest, right? Your husband, your wife, or significant other that are saying, no, you need to slow down. I need your attention. So maybe, your workload or family responsibilities will interfere with all of these things that you want to do that you have passion for. Now, Uranus is in the 12th house, so this can bring anxiety. Maybe you're not sleeping well because you're thinking about all of the stuff that you want to do, and your boss is saying, "Nope, you got work to do." Um, so you need to take it easy, maybe do some meditation, um, yoga, things that can relax you a bit. Now, the full moon is happening in your third house and ninth house axis. So maybe you'll receive communication from one of your siblings or from an extended family member, or you can maybe have a communication project, or maybe you're learning something, or go on a short trip. Um, since Uranus is squaring this, be careful with your car if you're traveling because it might break down. Um, ninth house. Ninth house is all about long distance travel, higher education, legal matters as well. Something about this situation is giving you anxiety, maybe because it's squaring Uranus. And this would be like a conclusion because it's a full moon. Maybe you're concluding a legal matter, maybe you're concluding a long distance trip, right? Now, for Cancer, this Jupiter Mars conjunction is happening in your 12th house. So this is something that's happening that you don't know about because the 12th house is the house of secrets. So this house is also hidden enemies. So watch your back. Make sure that at work, you're extra careful, at school too. Um, anyone who may be working against you, basically. Now, with Mars in your 12th house, you're becoming a night owl or you're having trouble sleeping. Because of 12th house matters, maybe hospitals, religion, psychic stuff happening, fears also about something. So Saturn is in the ninth house. You could be more involved in school, university activities or university studies, religious studies, long distance travel. Communication is coming from um, you know, most likely a female, but somebody from either your extended family or your sibling. Um, and because you have Venus here, this issue might be bringing you some restlessness. Now, Uranus is trine to Venus. So listen to what this person is saying because they mean well. Probably a friend because, the 11th house is a friend. And Uranus, the ruler of the natural ruler of the 11th house is in, is in the 11th house. Now, the full moon is happening in your second and eighth house. So, you need to review, rebudget, what are you spending the money on? Like where does it go? Are you making purchases that you're not supposed to, right? So be mindful of money. For you, you're one of the signs that needs to look at money, needs to look at your budget, needs to review your expenses and go forward. Now, let's say Leo. Leo, this is the chart for you. So this Mars Jupiter conjunction is happening in your 11th house. So maybe you're putting in a lot of effort making friends. Careful with arguments with friends. And it could be, the argument could be about money because Venus is in the second house. So 11th house obviously represents friends, social groups, associations, retirement, politics. Could be a discussion about politics, right? So we want to be very PC and not say much. Now, Saturn is in the 8th house. So, and Venus is in the second. Don't lend any money to friends. I would not recommend it because it's making an opposition and it's squaring this conjunction. So if you have friends or you have somebody from a social circle asking you for money, I would not recommend that. Now, Uranus in the 10th, which is trining Venus in the second and Pluto in the sixth. Now, this could be a change of career, maybe a promotion, and it's giving you more money because it's a trine and it's work. These are the work houses. This is the money that we make from the job that you do, and it's a change of career. So this could be very good for you. Now, the full moon is happening in the first house and the seventh house. So unfortunately, this could mean that there could be a breakup because it's squaring Uranus. And usually when this happens in a full moon, when you break up with somebody in a full moon, it's a final thing. So maybe this new job can be creating issues with your relationship too. That's also a possibility, and it has nothing to do with with breaking up, I hope. So anyway, Virgo. Virgo, this Mars Jupiter conjunction is happening in your 10th house. So your boss, your parents, your technically your father, but maybe your parents, because it could be your mom too. You're putting a lot of energy into your career. Careful not to argue with your boss or your parents. Maybe you want to accomplish too many things at work, like you're hopping all over the place getting stuff done. Now, Saturn in the seventh and Venus in the first, maybe your spouse is saying, hey, listen, you're just putting too much time into work. They're complaining about you're ignoring them, basically. Or maybe you don't even have time for yourself. So Virgos are perfectionists anyway. So this could be, you have to be mindful. Don't go overboard on work. Now the full moon is happening in the 12th and 6th houses, right? So this deals a lot with health, with work, with service to others. Maybe you're taking care of somebody who's in a hospital or in a 12th house institution, and it might be interfering with work stuff here, 6th house. So, again, be mindful of this. Uranus in the 9th is trining Pluto in the 5th and Venus in the 1st. So maybe there are, what do you call it? Your beliefs are going through some kind of transition. Your philosophy in life might be changing for the better because it's a trine. And maybe these people here are actually 5th house, might be saying, hey, this is a great move. Now, for Libra, this conjunction is happening in your 9th house, the Jupiter-Mars conjunction, which is actually one of the better houses to have it in. So maybe you're planning on going back to school or planning a long distance trip, a course that you're taking. Now, Saturn in the sixth is opposing Venus in the 12th. So this means work is getting in the way, or there's a secret, maybe a secret business deal or a love affair that can interfere with your plans to go on a long distance trip or to go back to the university or take this university course. Uranus in the eighth and um, is trining Venus in the 12th and it's trining Pluto in the fourth. So this could be a love affair. Because Venus in the 12th is secret love or secret business deals. And Uranus happens to be in, eighth house, sex. Or you could play lottery, why not? Play a couple of lottery tickets. Also, eh, with this square, right? This full moon square to Uranus, don't lend money because it's the eighth house as well. So a lot of people can't lend money nowadays. All right, Scorpio. Scorpio, this Jupiter Mars conjunction is happening in your eighth house. So definitely you are reviewing your budgets, your investments, your partner's resources. Maybe you want to pay off your debt, you want to just get rid of the debt. Now, Saturn in the fifth, and it's opposing Venus in the 11th. Don't listen to these people. Get a financial advisor and wait for Mercury to go direct for any long-term investments, right? Because it's Saturn, it's squaring Saturn, so it's going to be long-term. Don't lend any money to any of your friends or your boyfriend, girlfriend. The full moon is happening in your 10th and 4th house. So work family dynamic, you're focused on the family because, this is maybe there's something financial happening between work and family. Maybe your family, um, hmm, no. This is, oh my God, I lost. Okay, so this is Scorpio. All right, so full moon in 10th and 4th house. Again, don't work and family, focus on the family because there's a trine to this Jupiter Mars conjunction, right? Uranus in the 7th, there are changes in your long-term relationships with good communication and love coming in, short trips here. Maybe you want to take a trip with one of your friends or one of your siblings, your cousins, or maybe there's a change in one of your goals, your dreams that you want to do with your partner. Okay. Now, Sag. With Sag, this Jupiter Mars conjunction is happening in your 7th house. So there could be a new exciting relationship with a very sexy person because it's Mars. Jupiter is one of the significators of marriage, but of course there have to be um, other transits and stuff in your personal chart that indicate that because you have to have at least 3 hits. But Saturn, Saturn here in the 4th, and it is opposing Venus in the 10th. Maybe your family is saying, hey, don't go too fast with this person. You just met them. So or maybe the responsibilities at work, or even responsibilities at your, with your family are going to be interfering with this person, with this new person. Now, if you're already with someone, then you want to try to do something exciting and different with your spouse. Uranus in the sixth, you could have a change of position at work. And this is usually like a lateral move, or you get another job with like the same title. But it does come with more money because Pluto's in the second and Venus is in the 10th. So there could be very positive changes when it comes to career. Full moon. The full moon is in your third and ninth house axis. So third house, short trips or short course, maybe coming to an end. Because of the square to Uranus, this can indicate, see here, it's going to indicate car trouble as well. So be mindful, take care of the car, or it could be your computer, cell phone, third house matters. Ninth house could be, it could indicate that maybe a long distance trip is ending, or maybe a legal matter is coming to a close. Maybe you have a legal case and the judge is getting ready to wrap it up. Capricorn. This Jupiter-Mars conjunction happens in the sixth house, which is a house of daily routines, work, eating habits, exercise. So there could be a lot of work, a lot of projects, maybe something new, exciting projects, right? You may be excited about trying a new diet, well, a new eating habit, a new exercise program. Saturn squares, right? Saturn squares this. So careful with communication with colleagues, emails, any discussions. Maybe it needs to be rewritten, redone, slowed down, right? With anything, any discussions. Or maybe there's some interference because you went on a long distance trip and you need to catch up. And you can't, or because you need to go on a long distance trip, you need to slow down on these work projects and make sure that they're done correctly. Whatever happens with a colleague, okay, don't let it interfere with your work. If you have an argument with a colleague, you just plow on, move on, keep going. Uranus in the fifth with trining Pluto in the first, and it's also trining Venus in the ninth. Ideally, a new boyfriend, girlfriend can come in that inspires you to change, transform your appearance, hair, makeup, go work out, lose weight. So this person may be a foreigner because it's Venus in the ninth house. So romance is in the air. You're one of the lucky ones. Full moon, second house, eighth house. Your finances are going to be under super review. How much you're earning, what are your investments, your partner's resources, your partner's money. Review your budget and where the money is going. And I don't recommend making any big purchases. Now, for Aquarius. For Aquarius, the Jupiter-Mars conjunction is happening in your fifth. So you are really excited about romance, a hobby, your kids, a vacation. You want to do fun stuff. You want to go out and play. Now, Saturn is saying, take a look at your finances because the square is to Saturn in the second and Venus in the eighth. So maybe there's an issue with money preventing you or slowing you down with all that, fun stuff you want to do or the dates you want to take with this new person, right? Uranus is in the fourth house and it is trining Pluto in the 12th and Venus in the 8th. So there could be a change of home. Maybe you are going to be moving to a new apartment or new place, and it'll be less expensive because it's in positive trine to Venus and to Pluto. Now, full moon happens in the 1st and 7th. So if there is a problem that comes up with your significant other, your spouse, your long-term relationship, and you decide to break up, understand that, or if you want to file for divorce, then breakups that happen during a full moon are final. There's no going back. And lastly, Pisces. Pisces, this Jupiter-Mars conjunction is happening in your 4th house. So number one, don't argue with your parents. Number two, maybe you're excited about doing something with your house. Maybe you're remodeling or you're buying a new home, but the square comes in from Saturn and from Venus. So maybe, you are having second thoughts, fears. Maybe you're spending too much money, right? Your spouse is saying, hey, we can't really afford this home, or we can't really afford the remodel, the renovations. So keep that in mind. Uranus in the 3rd house, which is trining Pluto and trining Venus. So you may decide to go on a short trip with your spouse or with a friend. Have fun, just if you go on a short trip, be mindful of the money, but regardless. Or maybe you want to study a language or an online course, but you want a buddy. You want your spouse to sign up with you, or you want to take it with your friend, Now, full moon. The full moon is happening in the 12th and 6th house. So the 12th house is a completion cycle, and this is a difficult placement for the full moon because it can bring up fears. It can bring an ending, like maybe somebody passing away that was in the hospital. Careful with depression because it's going to impact your health. You may need to meditate, rest. When there's a full moon in the 12th house, meditate, rest. If you can go to a spa, some kind of retreat, because especially because if work is being an issue or interfering with the rest, then you still need to do it. You still need to find a way to sleep better, to just relax. Okay. So anyway, this I think is where I end the video because I know it's a long video, but I just wanted to cover everything all at once. I hope that this last time when I did this, they said it was very helpful. And I just wanted to get everything covered because these next 2 weeks like I said, from the 14th to maybe like the 24th, 25th, it's gonna be rough. So, now you know what you're gonna be facing. I wish you all luck. So if you would like a natal chart reading with me, please send me an email to amaastrology@aol.com. If you have found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and send it to somebody that it may also help. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.